Alien, Occam's Razor Series, Book 1. Written by J.D. Lovil. Narrated by Randal Schaffer. Disclaimer. This is a work of non-fiction speculation. The subject matter of this book is open to extreme interpretations and viewpoints. The author has taken the opportunity to add his discordant voice into the mix with the hope of adding clarity to these muddy waters. If he cannot do that, he will settle for adding mud into these clear waters. Whatever works. Acknowledgements. This book is based loosely on the concepts of many authors dealing with the subject of extraterrestrial life. I blame my youth wasted reading science fiction for my creation of this book. A large part of the details for this book come from persons such as Zecharia Sitchin, Richard M. Dolan, J. Allen Hynek, and of course Eric von Däniken. The publications of Lloyd Pye were also especially useful for information about all the reasons why our bodies show the hand of a genetic tinkerer, which has been busy designing us. Introduction. Occam's razor is a philosophical principle applied to the field of scientific inquiry and to the resolution of logical arguments, which states that the simplest theory that explains all of the facts relating to the argument is probably the correct one. Ask anyone about the possibility of alien life and if aliens are visiting our fair planet, and you'll probably get an answer that's unique for every person asked. Some people think that none of it is real, and an audience of billions of gullible people espouses belief in a delusion of alien visitation. Some people think that it's all real, and a vast conspiracy is in place to convince us that it's all a lie. We live in a vast world filled with human beings with opinions on this and a trillion other subjects. People hold contradictory theories about this subject, and they generally insist that their theory is the only true interpretation of the subject of aliens and alien visitation. Everyone else is obviously wrong. They cannot all be right. There has to be a method to define the argument in such a way that it's possible to find the true answers in this ocean of wishful speculation that currently holds sway as the answers. It's time for a closer look at how to use the tool we call Occam's razor to find the answers. Occam's razor is a principle that's more appropriate for scientific inquiry than it is for the normal argumentative procedure. Let me explain what I mean by that. A scientific investigation has many of the elements of a logical argument. It assembles all of the known facts. It assembles the possible conditions and mechanisms that explain the facts. These are all speculated upon, and the hypotheses that are formed to explain the phenomena are advanced as tentative assumptions that are easily changed, eliminated, or abandoned. It eventually reaches a conclusion which explains the whole process under the investigation in every case. The conclusion is the theory that we make out of the argument. If we find even one case in which the theory does not accurately explain the events, we must abandon that theory for an alternative explanation. We find it to be quite useful to filter through our possible answers in such a scientific inquiry using Occam's razor. It works well as a tool to uncover the truth when the seeker has not already made up their mind about what's going on, but it might also be used to damage a logical argument where the participants have already decided what conclusions they wish to reach in the argument. In either the scientific or the simple logical arguments, some components are essential to use in the argument's structure. Let us discuss the structure familiarly and informally. As is true for any journey, an argument starts with some sort of roadmap. The two sides have to agree on the subject of the argument. In some forms of argument, they may also state their intended conclusions. In other forms, they'll let the argument lead them to the conclusion. They'll assemble a set of assumptions that support their arguments. These will divide into two sets of assumptions. The first set will be the assumptions that both sides of the argument can agree are valid without revision.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?